When I got the call that I had won this award, I was honored and flattered, and frankly, for a moment, I thought you might have gotten the wrong guy. I'm a history major. What do I know about these things? Well, it's kind of a long story, but there is a logical reason I ended up where I did. For as long as I can remember, I always wanted to fly. My father was a private pilot, and I did a lot of flying in the right seat of his airplane. And as it turns out, both of my grandfathers, maternal and paternal, were pilots. My maternal grandfather, Duke Riley of Boston, flew around a 1933 Stinson ER Reliant as a wool importer. Anyway, I guess it was in my blood. I always had that desire to be up in the air, and I always wanted to get my license, which I ultimately did. But I never pursued aviation, engineering, space as a career. But then, out of the blue one day, I heard about CNN looking for a science correspondent. Now, I didn't know much about science, but I knew I wanted to be at CNN. And so I went there, and I managed to convince them that that's exactly what they needed, a history major to tell the world about science. Made perfect sense to me. Actually, at the time, I thought it was kind of a line of you-know-what, but as it turns out, there's a fair amount of truth to it. And that led me to NASA and coverage of space and some extraordinary events and meeting some extraordinary people. I got to know John Glenn. I even got to fly on my little plane with John Glenn. I landed and he complimented the landing. That was pretty good. I got to work with Walter Cronkite covering John Glenn's return to flight on STS-95. The space shuttle, extraordinary event. How many people can say Walter Cronkite was their co-anchor? And I met a lot of wonderful, fascinating people along the way that have enriched me in so many ways. And along the way, I have learned that I have this true, deep love for the subject matter. I guess you could say I'm kind of an emissary from another world, the history major who's entered the world of the technical enterprise. And I know enough of your language by now to be ever so dangerous. But the truth is, this is what I care deeply about. And I'm honored and flattered to be your award recipient. And I got to scratch my head and wonder how the history major ended up here. But I sure am glad I am. Thank you.